There's also breaking news that President Biden has commuted the death sentences of nearly all inmates on federal death row. Our senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has the latest. Good morning, Selena.
Good morning, Rebecca. Just moments ago, President Biden announced he's commuting the sentences of nearly every prisoner on federal death row. Instead of execution, these 37 inmates will now serve life sentences without the possibility of parole. Now only 3 men will remain on federal death row, including one of the Boston Marathon bombers and 2 mass shooters. President Biden's actions today will prevent the incoming Trump administration from carrying out execution sentences for those 37 individuals.
The decision by President Biden to pardon 37 criminals on federal death row is a profound miscarriage of justice and an affront to the victims, their families, and society as a whole. The role of the president is to serve as a model of justice, ensuring the balance between mercy and accountability. By extending mercy to individuals convicted of the most heinous crimes, this decision undermines the principles of peace, justice, and the rule of law. A misguided message of mercy. The federal death penalty is reserved for the most egregious offenses, acts of murder, terrorism, and violence so severe that society deems the ultimate punishment necessary. Pardoning individuals on death row sends a dangerous message that even the gravest crimes can be met with leniency. Mercy has its place in leadership, but granting it to those who have committed irreparable harm to innocent lives dilutes the gravity of their actions and diminishes justice for the victims. This decision ignores the pain and suffering endured by the victims and their families. How can a government preach peace when it turns a blind eye to the cries of those forever scarred by violence? True justice requires that society holds accountable those who violate its most fundamental laws, not absolve them of their deserved punishment. A president's responsibility to justice. A president's role is not only to represent the values of the nation, but also to safeguard its moral compass. Pardoning convicted murderers does not reflect a commitment to justice or peace. It reflects misplaced compassion for the perpetrators of evil at the expense of justice for their victims. The Constitution grants the president the power to pardon, but with great power comes great responsibility. Such decisions should uplift society, not erode trust in the justice system. By sparing individuals convicted of the most violent and premeditated crimes, this decision undermines the legal process and disrespects the juries, judges, and prosecutors who worked tirelessly to ensure justice was served. Undermining peace through weakness. Peace is not achieved by absolving those who commit atrocities. It is achieved through accountability. Allowing murderers to escape the full consequences of their actions does not promote peace but fosters a culture of impunity. It emboldens criminals and devalues the lives of victims, signaling that their suffering is secondary to political agendas or misplaced ideals of mercy. This decision also risks discouraging law enforcement and legal professionals who work to bring justice to victims. Why should they dedicate themselves to the pursuit of justice if their efforts are ultimately undone by political decisions? A call for justice, not mercy for evil. The president's actions must reflect a balance between compassion and justice, ensuring the safety and well-being of society. True leadership requires the courage to stand firm against evil, to provide solace to victims, and to ensure that justice is carried out. Pardoning those on death row fails this test of leadership. The victims of these crimes will never have the chance for a second chance, and neither should those who took their lives. Instead of prioritizing mercy for the guilty, the president should focus on policies that honor and protect the innocent. Peace cannot thrive in a society where justice is sacrificed, and leadership that seeks to model justice must always remember that mercy for the wicked often comes at the expense of the righteous. The dangers of precedent. This decision sets a dangerous precedent that could have far-reaching consequences for the future of the criminal justice system. If mercy is extended to those who have committed the most heinous of crimes, it raises serious questions about the consistency of justice. It suggests that the rule of law can be bent or overlooked depending on political considerations, rather than being applied equally to all. This erodes trust in the legal system, creating an environment where victims, their families, and the public at large may question whether justice will ever truly be served. Justice is meant to be blind, impartial, and unwavering. It must be based on the severity of a crime, not influenced by political or personal biases. By granting pardons to individuals who have committed acts so vile that they warranted the death penalty, the president risks undermining the credibility of the justice system, sending the message that those in power may alter the course of justice at their discretion. The failure to protect society. By pardoning individuals convicted of the most grievous crimes, the president is failing in his fundamental duty to protect society. Those on death row are there because they pose a serious threat to public safety. Pardoning them not only allows dangerous individuals to evade the consequences of their actions, but it also leaves society vulnerable to their potential reoffending. In a world where justice is sacrificed for the sake of leniency, the public must bear the consequences. Families who have suffered from violent crimes may live in fear, knowing that those who have committed such atrocities may soon walk free, unaccountable for their past actions. This is not the path to peace, but a recipe for greater division, insecurity, and suffering. Conclusion. The decision to pardon individuals on federal death row is a betrayal of justice, a failure of leadership, and a step backward for the safety and security of the nation. A leader's duty is not to extend mercy to those who have committed the worst crimes, but to ensure that justice is upheld, that victims' voices are heard, and that society remains protected from those who would seek to harm it. In these times, the people look to their leaders to provide justice, not to excuse evil. The president must reconsider this decision, restore faith in the justice system, and stand firm in the commitment to protecting the innocent, ensuring that peace is achieved not through mercy for the guilty, but through unwavering accountability for their crimes. Only then can we truly honor the victims, their families, and the fundamental principles that keep our society safe.